Hello and welcome everybody to a brand new video. Today's topic of the video is Putin's presidential campaign. I think this is a very interesting topic that we should all talk about and learn even more to understand how the system works. Now guys, before you ask me where the heck are the vlogs, they are coming. I'm just recording a few days into one vlog and I'm gonna post it out quite soon, so don't worry about that one. Now I am going to be talking about Putin's presidential campaign. I don't even know where to start, but I will try my best to voice out my opinion on this matter. So when Putin very surprisingly announced that he's going to be running for the Russian president once again, wait a minute, running? He probably means sitting down and waiting for him to be just given out his presidency once again, like it happens every single time. So obviously he's not running anywhere, he's just waiting to go, oh, well, I'm the president once again. Thank you very much for everybody who voted for me this time. Obviously, he still needs to create a big visual for the people so it doesn't seem as sketchy to ordinary Russian people. I'm not going to deny that a big part of the Russian population are still going to give their signatures and their votes for Vladimir Putin because a lot of people truly believe that he is one of the best leaders of Russia and that he is truly protecting Russia from the evil West. And obviously that is done by the Russian state media, which says that every single bad thing that happens in Russia is actually because of the America, the evil America. Anyways, in Russia, to become a candidate for presidency and actually join the presidential race, you need 300,000 signatures in your name so you could give it to the commission and they will add you as being a candidate. Obviously, Putin said that he's going to be collecting his signatures, so he started collecting them, and he did. And surprisingly, he only had 91 invalid signatures, whereas Boris Nadezhdin had 9,000 invalid signatures. Could you imagine that? 9,000 invalid, where Vladimir Putin had only 91 invalid. To be honest with you guys, I have not seen any queues or lines going to give out their signatures to Vladimir Putin. I have not seen any of that. I'll be honest with you, I've never seen any calling ups. Maybe it's because I don't watch the TV or something like that, but haven't seen any videos or photos about people queuing up and giving out their signatures to Putin. Whereas Boris Nadezhdin, I remember it's been broadcasted all over the place where there were huge lines of people actually coming into the places where they could give their signature for Boris Nadezhdin, and unfortunately he could not pass because apparently 9,000 signatures were found invalid. Now, Boris Nadezhdin's team actually said on that apparently because those signatures and names were handwritten and they were given out to this commission, the commission made mistakes themselves at typing in the names. So obviously a lot of those names became invalid because those people do not exist. If you change one letter in a name, that's gone. That's not a vote. That's not a signature. That's a nobody. I'm actually very surprised how they made 9,000 mistakes for Boris and only 91 for Vladimir Putin. How coincidental. Very interesting. So obviously there's nothing fishy going on about the signatures and the fact that the opposition is not allowed to come in. So guys, don't worry about it. As long as you don't talk about it and do not discreditate the government, the army, the government officials, you're going to be fine. Just don't ask yourself questions and go with the flow. I actually cannot believe that I am living through the times where it feels like I'm in some history book that I read in school, you know? I just don't even know how to comment on this. This is absolutely unbelievable, and it really hurts me that there's not much I could actually do about it. and with the news of Navalny and stuff like that, it is just horrifying for the future. Really need to get the heck out of here. Now, from what I could see, from the Russian patriots, as they call themselves, is that if you don't support your government, that means you're not a patriot, you're an absolute disgrace to your country, and that you do not belong here. And if you are still here and you're against this ultra patriotic government, you're the enemy of the state and you should be put in prison. This is like the type of stuff you would hear from the state television. There's a bunch of different programs where they would have like political debates and stuff like that. You have your famous Solovyov guy that literally just talks into his mic so closely. It's really weird. He calls everybody the enemies. If there is any problem in Russia, it's the CIA's fault, America's fault. The spies are all over the place to crumble down Russia right now. And because the majority of the population watches TV programs like that, or maybe their parents watch TV programs like that, they talk about this whole situation around in the household. And that is how the propaganda is being set inside of their brains. Now, I really wanted to show you this video that I found by accident, and I found it absolutely appalling and disgraceful and unbelievable, but this is the true part of the presidential campaign of Vladimir Putin.
Товарищи, я Ирина Николаевна Левицкая, с Нового Оскола Белгородской области. Сегодня получила подарок от нашей администрации за то, что согласилась проголосовать за Владимира Владимировича Путина на выборах президента России 15-17 марта. Меня никто об этом не просил, но я была очень сознательной комсомолкой, инициативной, активной девочкой. Поэтому прошу вас всех, кто только любит подарки от Владимира Путина и Вячеслава Гладкова, прийти в администрацию по адресу улица 1 мая, 4 и получить свой пакетик с продуктами. Делать ничего не надо, только получить свой талон и пакетик и сказать, что вы голосуете за нашего президента и любите Россию. Сегодня я буду сытой, а завтра будет сыта вся Россия. А вы только посмотрите на этот пакетик. Чего тут только нету. И консервы, и колбаска, и сахар, и все, что только душа пожелает. Не стесняйтесь, идите, не пожалеете.
Guys, I honestly have no words about this video that we just witnessed. First of all, I'm very saddened to see this old lady giving out her vote just for some canned meat, some pasta, some sugar. Unbelievable. But I can't really blame her that much because nobody talks about the miserable pensions in Russia. It's so tiny that they actually don't have any money for anything. For example, my grandmother has a pension of a whopping $160 per month. Now, $160. Does that sound like a big pension to you guys? That sounds like I don't even know. What are you going to spend $160? It's so much money? No idea. But anyways, let's think of what we could spend our $160 pension per month. And that's her pension for being in Moscow. They index the pensions from wherever you are. So somewhere, I don't know, like 500 kilometers away from Moscow, the pension would be even lower. Could you imagine that? And the prices of foods are not really going to be that much lower. It's pretty much all the same, no matter where you are in Russia. So now you got to decide. What are you going to be paying for? You're going to be paying for electricity this month? Or are you going to get yourself some food? Or in most case scenarios, you're a pensioner, so you might have some sort of health issue. You probably need some pills and tablets and medicine. So you got to kind of decide. Or you could get yourself a little bit of medicine just to get you through somehow with pain and suffering. A little bit of food, so you're going to be starving, but you're not going to die from starvation. And you got to pay a little bit for electricity, just so that at least you can boil the kettle. and have the light on sometimes. Unbelievable. It's very, very sad what is happening, and I cannot believe that my eyes have opened up so much throughout the last 5 years. It is unbelievable what is happening, and it is very scary. Now, obviously, a lot of you guys are probably going to be saying, well, you know what? Why shouldn't the pensioner's kids help her mother out or his grandfather out or something like that? You got to remember one thing. Not everybody has kids. That means only one thing, that they only got to live through their pension. That's why a lot of pensioners in Russia, they actually find themselves a job being a concierge at an apartment or something like that, where you just got to kind of sit around and see if there's any suspicious people walking around the place, or a store security guard or something like that, just to make ends meet. It's not like in the videos where a lot of people are just showing like, oh, look at this, guys, the food is so cheap in Russia, it's only $1 for this, $1 for that, $2 for this. You guys got to remember one thing, that the wages in Russia and the pension are very low, and the prices of products are actually very expensive. So the actual purchasing power of a Russian person is way lower than a purchasing power of somebody in the United States. You got to remember that. So it's not as good as a lot of people in the comment section are saying. That is not true. The purchasing power is not that high at all in Russia whatsoever. This is very sad that the government is using the people in need to get their signatures out of them. And because of the fact that there are a lot of people in need in Russia, like pensioners, the government is using it to their own advantage to get signatures and votes out of them by, oh, well, look at this. Election time, we'll give them a bag of food. We're going to spend a few bucks on that, and they're going to have a vote for me. That's how they see it in the government. I mean, you could have, if you were truly trying to help people out, you could have been making some stores that are extremely cheap for those pensioners. But you don't. You just give them a bag of food and a bag of sugar so that you could get a vote for Putin. Unbelievable. And trust me, it's not even good food. That food is crap. That's like the worst canned meat you can get. It has questionable meat inside. The pasta is like the worst quality you could get. That sugar in a bag, I didn't even know they sold bags like that with sugar anymore. This is how crazy it is. And the fact that that old lady was actually saying this on video so that all the other pensioners in that area would go to vote for him just because they got a bag of food. And trust me, there's going to be hundreds of pensioners that are going to take that bag of food and then they're going to come back, give their signature, give their vote, because the great government of Russia has given them a bag of food. In my eyes, this is bribery. And it's not even as bad as, I don't even know, what's even worse? Bribing a cop for letting you off with a speeding ticket, or bribing an elderly person in need with food to get a signature. Guys, tell me in the comment section below, what do you guys think is worse? Bribing a cop or bribing a person in need with food to get a signature or a vote for presidency? Tell me. I'm actually interested to know this. This is a very interesting topic to discuss. So in conclusion, we could see that the current presidential campaign of Vladimir Putin is to get rid of any political opposition out of the way. We could see that from Duntsova, Nadezhdin, Navalny. They're all gone. The opposition just disappeared within this month, basically. The 2 months probably. Yeah, 2 months. The opposition is wiped out completely. Bribing the people with a bag of food is also the presidential campaign. Obviously, you can't forget the last factor. That is brainwashing the people of Russia with state television so they would believe that if they don't vote for one person, that means they're traitors to their country. Now, I've actually saw this guy on Instagram this morning, and he was talking about Navalny and stuff like that. And a lot of people started commenting that he was brainwashed and stuff like that. And he started discussing that, how am I brainwashed? I'm a patriot. This is my country. This is where my parents grew up. This is where my grandparents grew up. This is where my ancestry all lived and stuff like that. People don't understand that growing up, living, and loving Russia is completely different to loving the government. They've done this with state television and propaganda, that they put the government and the country so integrated together in people's minds that they think that if they don't like the government, that means they don't like the country itself. That's what people don't get nowadays in here. It's unbelievable. Now, there is a minority of people that understand this, but the majority, they think this way. I know that this is a very dangerous topic to discuss, and I probably shouldn't have done it, but I feel obliged to inform you guys on what is going on inside of Russia today, so that you would get an idea of a person who is currently located in here and actually tells on what's going on and tells his own honest opinion. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section below. If you want to support me personally, you could check out the Boosty link in the description. If you guys would like to read some Russian state news in English, you could also check out my news website that I've created called sanctionednews.com. You could guys check it out, read some news. Sorry that there isn't a ton of news coming out. If one of you guys wants to help me out in translating Russian state news media, you guys could hit me up on my email in the About section of YouTube. I would love your help. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.